Hello and welcome to my online course, Bestseller Blueprint. This is going to show you effective strategies you can use to grow your online courses business. Hello, I'm John Colley. I've currently got 24 courses published on Udemy, although I've created many more than that. I've got over 58,000 students and I'm really pleased to welcome you to this no sell, no pitch webinar. This is going to be purely entertainment. Let me just give you two facts to start off with. Did you know that approximately 80% of Udemy instructors have less than 3 courses? And just over 3.5% of instructors have 10 courses or more. So the question I want to ask you is, where are you? Are you in that 80% of instructors who have got 1 or 2 courses and have never really taken it anywhere? Or are you in that 3.5% who are killing it? Or even worse, are you stuck in the middle? Are you in that group who have put the work in, who have put the effort in, who've tried really hard, but you can't break out? And I suspect that's where a lot of aspirational instructors are today. 95% of Udemy instructors, therefore, in my view, are struggling to achieve the results they want. Now, my students have been pretty happy with the results I've been getting for them. And just a few quotes here. I'll leave you to read them, but basically, Khalid says, John delivers another amazing course, very responsive when it comes to student engagement. Professor Robert Sullivan says, excellent course. I've watched offerings from industry gurus that are over $2,000 that don't come near to the quality of this. Very kind, Professor Robert. Samantha says, your course gave me more insight on how to become a successful instructor on Udemy. And Kareem said, I learned so much from this course. John is a great teacher and he's really giving very important and fantastic information. Now, I've worked for 5 years to build my online course business on Udemy. And I've developed this blueprint for growth. And you can see the results on the screen. And if you follow me all the way through this webinar, you're going to be able to do this too. Now, up to October last year, I have to admit, I was struggling to break out. Yes, my courses, particularly since the price had been, the price changes went through all those ramifications, but for the last basically sort of couple of years, I have been struggling to really make an impact with my courses. And then in October 17, I knuckled down. I did a lot of analysis, a lot of hard work, a lot of digging into what makes courses successful, what makes instructors successful. And the results you can see on the screen, an explosion in my sales, which is continuing today. And I've now got a blueprint for success. And that's what I want to share with you in this limited time that's available in this webinar. To summarize, I understand where you are now because I have been there too, and I'm sure you're going to appreciate the struggle that we're both gone through. So let me share with you my bestseller blueprint, difficult to say, how you can grow your online courses business to become a Udemy bestseller. Now, we've got a limited amount of time, but what I'm going to cover is 4 essential KPIs. And then after I've taken you through those and helped you to understand why these are important and how you can work with them to improve your course sales, I'm then going to explain the very simple bestseller strategy that I believe is the key to being a successful bestseller on Udemy. And I'm going to give you a very specific instructor example to prove my point. So let's start with 2 key metrics. And these are really simple: total sales and total unique students. And these 2 numbers tell you so much about your business and really help you to focus on what's important. Now, the first number will tell you how much you're making, and that's a really important number. But if you track it on a daily basis, you're also going to see the daily change and therefore how much you've made that day. And by watching that number and asking yourself if it dips, why it's dipping, and keeping a track of it on the basis that what you measure moves, then being conscious of this number and making it a really important number in your business will help you to grow your sales because you'll be conscious of what's going on. The other good number is the number of students, and I'm talking about unique students here. So are you growing your business? I'm not talking about giving lots of free coupons away to just drag people in, and I'm not talking about giving lots of free coupons away to your existing students, which just puts more students in your courses but doesn't actually grow your business. It's the number of unique students that you've got. Now, you can see here on my instructor dashboard the revenue figures and the total students. And I watch that number on the left-hand side every day. And I can see every day how it's changing and what it's done. And I watch the total number of students. I'm actually now nearer to above 59,000. But I'm watching that number every day to see what's going on, because that prompts me to take action. Gets me to ask the question, and this is a screenshot of my my spreadsheet that I use for monitoring this. It makes me think, what am I doing to promote my sales? How many new paying students am I gaining each day? Because I give out relatively few free coupons. So by taking this day-by-day approach, I'm challenging myself when I don't get any sales or when I get low sales, and looking very carefully to understand when I get lots of sales, where those sales are coming from. And if you ask yourself questions when you see these numbers, ask yourself why, then that is the start to growing your business and to making your business more successful. So what do students see when they sign up to you? Well, they're looking at your page. In fact, I've now got 24 courses since come on, and my reviews are over 1,000. What are they looking at? Well, they see how many students you've got. That's a degree of proof. They see how many courses you've got published, and they can see how many reviews you've got. And of course, they can also see the course tags, which comes up. It's a relatively new innovation from Udemy, but it does help them to understand what your business looks like. So these numbers are important to your students as well. Let's take a look now at the course creation KPI. And this is a very important number, because as I pointed out at the beginning, there's this enormous split between the numbers of instructors who have got lots of courses and the vast bulk of instructors who have got 1 or 2 courses. So what is the key to success on Udemy? Let's understand what is the key. And the key is the snowball effect. And the snowball effect can be summarized by basically, the more courses you create, the more students you'll attract, and the more students you attract, the more sales you will get. But it's not a linear relationship, it's an exponential relationship. So as you gain momentum, as that snowball rolls down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you've got a large body of students, that number of students will be growing faster than if you've got a small body of students. And I'm really here talking about paying students. I'm not talking about free students who tend to be very unengaged and very inactive. So by having as one of your key KPIs the number of courses you've got, you are effectively saying to yourself, it's important for me to grow my content, because the more courses I have, the more students I'll get, the more sales I'll get. This means you need to have a course creation strategy and goals for your course creation. Clearly, your strategy will depend on your expertise and what you're teaching and how you're putting it together. But the challenge is, how many new courses can you actually create in a given amount of time? And my goal is per month. I try to create 2 new paid courses a month. And therefore that will be 24 new courses in a year. So in this year I started having rationalized my courses down to just 16. Today, and we're talking about the beginning of April, I'm at 24. I've created 8 new courses this year, 2 of which are free. By the end of the year, I will have another 24 paid courses on top of that 16. So I will have 40 courses plus, which will put me in the top probably 1% of instructors on Udemy. And with that, I will see an acceleration in the growth of my sales, and I will see an acceleration in the numbers of students joining my courses. So you need to monitor your number of courses and remind yourself daily that you need to keep being productive. You need to keep creating content to get these courses out. And I keep a note every day in my spreadsheet, and you saw a copy of it earlier in this webinar, of how many courses I've got, because I'm reminding myself that my goal is to create another 2 courses this month, and I don't let myself forget that. So this means you need to have a new course content strategy, you need to have a daily video creation strategy, and you need to keep a tally, as I do. I've shown you in the spreadsheet earlier on in this webinar, of how many new videos I create each day, because if I'm trying to create 2 new courses a month, they may be 25 videos each, so that's 50 videos, which means in 20 working days I need to be creating 50 videos. That's 2.5 a day. So I need to be creating maybe 2 to 5 a day, given that there'll be some days when I'm doing other things. So you need to have this not a treadmill, but this strategy of constantly creating new content. Now, every time I create a video, and I'm going a bit deeper now, I keep a copy of, or make a note of that video in my video master spreadsheet. So I know every day which video I created and what the title is. It makes them very easy to find. I keep a note of the date it's created, the course it's for, the name of the video, and it means that I can access my video content very quickly. I know exactly what I've created, when I've created, what it's for. And when you come to reuse some of that content on other platforms, then it's very easy to find and get that organized. So I also tag my videos when I post them in LinkedIn or on YouTube or in Facebook groups, so that I know that I've reused that content. And this is all part of having a course creation KPI, which is then at the center of your course creation and growth strategy. So just to show you the point, there's my spreadsheet for my videos, and you can see that I've got my tags for along the left hand side in those columns for the different places: YouTube, my Facebook groups, my LinkedIn, my blog. I can see the Udemy course that the video has been created for. I can see the file name and the date it's been modified. And in January 2018, I created 69 videos. In February, I created 50. In March, I actually created 90. By the 8th of March, I'd already created 30. So you can see that I'm really focusing on this course creation KPI, and as a consequence, I'm becoming highly productive. The 4th KPI is the daily sales KPI, and now we're talking dollars. Now we're talking numbers of courses, not dollars. We look at the dollars in the total sales, and we just see the daily change. But this is all about the individual number of paid sales I get every day. And of course, some of those will be affiliate sales, some of those will be Udemy organic, and some of those will be my own promotion. So the question is, are you monitoring your daily paid sales? And by focusing on that number of courses, how many courses you sell each day, and making sure that it's paid courses, it means that you are focusing on the KPI where the money is really coming in from. And this really keeps you focused and motivated on performance, because if you have a bad day, if you only sell 4 courses the day before, it gets you thinking about how you can get more courses sold, and maybe that'll prompt you to do a promotion, but it does keep you focused on the important metric and the one you need to grow. So my question is, what is your goal for your month's sales? Do you have goals for your courses? Well, I look at 2 things. One is I obviously look at the number of sales I did the previous month. But because there's a lot of seasonality in this, I also look at the number of sales I did for that month the previous year. And my goal each month is to double what I do this year compared to that last year. And so far I've achieved that for the last 5 months, November, December, January, 5 months. So I'm now doubling my sales year on year, but just by focusing on this number and really working hard to grow it. So you look at, in a particular month, the total number of sales, how many courses you've sold. I compare to last year, so I can get rid of the seasonality and the growth. I'm looking at the average sales per day as well, because that helps me to compare my growth month on month. And I also look at actually the average sale price per course, which works out at somewhere between $4.50 and $5 a course. But I'm not seeing a great change in that. A lot of that is not in my control. What is in my control is to get more individual course sales. So when I look at my course sales month on month and I see increases, I'm asking myself, why are they increased? When I see declines in sales, I'm asking myself why. I'm looking for this year-on-year percentage increase, and it stimulates me to want to sell more courses. And here's my spreadsheet. So you can see that in January, I was up 180%. In February, I was up 228%. And in March, I believe I exceeded, I know I exceeded 200%. So I've more than doubled just by following this system, and by focusing on my daily sales KPI, I am doubling my sales year on year because I'm much more alert to the sales and making sure that I'm out there promoting and do everything I can to grow my daily sales. So what factors affect this? Let me get you into some of the thinking behind this. Clearly, your course organic ranking is important. Clearly, the numbers of ratings and reviews you are getting affects the ranking of your courses. The number of instructor promotions you do, the number of Udemy promotions your courses are included in. Seasonality plays a part, weekends play a part, but also new course launches. If you're creating a new course and you launch it, that's an opportunity to have a little sales boost because you're offering your existing students something new and original which they should be stimulated by. You'll see that I also track the new lectures created each month. That's the new videos I'm creating, and I'm also looking at I've actually got that number at the bottom in this spreadsheet, and I'm also looking at the average selling price per course, which as you can see has been somewhere between $4.5 and $5 a lecture. So those are the 4 KPIs that I think you need to start by focusing on if you're really serious about growing your business. Now, having taken you through those KPIs, I want to share with you this bestseller blueprint that can really show you in simple terms how you can become a bestseller on Udemy. Now, the objective is to maximize income from your Udemy courses. You're never going to sell them for $100 each. That's not the Udemy model. So you have to sell more courses in order to grow your income because you don't really have control over the selling price. And a lot of that comes from organic sales. And that is about really positioning yourself in the right way. Now, you can start by looking at the marketplace insights, and that's a really good place to start. I've actually got a complete course just on marketplace insights, and it helps you to understand individual topics within Udemy which you really do need to delve into and make sure all your courses are genuinely aligned with a Udemy topic. You need to look at your competition, which is explained both in terms of the new overall numerics, but also they show you the top 5 courses you're competing against, and they also show you the value of that topic, so you can see how much each month the top course is earning. So by studying marketplace insights, you can ensure that you set your course up for success. However, that is not enough. What you need is a long-term strategy, and the strategy is to dominate your niche for your particular topic. And to do this, what you need to do is you need to have a core best-selling course, and then you follow that up with satellite courses afterwards, which then you can add on sell to your students. And at the moment, I haven't got the screenshot prepared. If you go and look for online courses or online course creation, you'll see that for online course creation, I have 7 of the top 12 slots on page 1 for organic search for that keyword. And that is what I'm talking about. But let me give you a specific example. And the example I'm going to give you is the instructor Phil Ebiner, who is somebody I've spoken to quite a lot. I have a huge regard for what he's doing. He's definitely in the top 1% of Udemy instructors. He's probably in the top 20 Udemy instructors. He's got 76 courses on Udemy. He's got over 500,000 students on Udemy. And I want to show you what he's doing and how he's doing it, because you can replicate this model. Now, what he's done is he has created a series of courses in a series of core topics. Slightly difficult to read what they're saying, but just to show you what the major boxes are, it's Adobe, photography, online courses, video, Photoshop, business, web design, Premiere Pro, personal finance, etc. and each square is proportional to the number of students in it, and the colours are where the courses are best sellers. And you can see that in nearly all the major topics he's in, he has got best-selling courses. And then he's reinforcing that by having a whole series of other courses coming up behind that he can then cross-sell between the students in his main best-selling courses. So by adopting this strategy, he's built up expertise and niche dominance in a series of areas where he's bringing in paying students, and then he is able to cross-sell his other courses to them. Now you can look at here at his courses by topic and their time in minutes. And one of the things this shows is that a lot of his core courses are longer, really substantial courses, which have got a lot of in-depth information. But still, you'll see that some of his shorter courses have become bestsellers in their own right. So it shows you that once you've got this core momentum, your follow-up courses can be just as popular as your main courses, but you need to start with that cornerstone content. If you look at the group and by authors within his group of courses, you'll also see another key part of his strategy. And that is that he collaborates with other leading instructors. And this is absolutely fundamental. You can't be an expert in everything, but you can share your expertise with another instructor. Now, if you've got 100,000 students and that instructor's got 100,000 students and you both sell a course, you're actually able, you create a course together, you're able to then cross-sell that course immediately into 200,000 students. And when students cross over from the second instructor into your course, you can then later on cross-sell your other courses, your other existing courses, to those new students who have come from that instructor. And because they're now familiar with who you are, they know, like, and trust you, they're much more likely to buy. So by collaborating, you create this cross-fertilization. Now, there has to be genuine collaboration. You have to work together on the course. You both have to create real content for it and show expertise. You can't just publish somebody else's course. But if you do it correctly, it is a huge accelerator to making your course a bestseller. If you look at his courses by topic and price, however, I actually would argue that price, because of the Udemy discounting structure, price is not an issue. Okay, he's got 4 courses at $200, 1 course at $100, and the rest at price below $50. Well, frankly, price is irrelevant because most courses go out the door at $9.99, $10.99, $12.99, whatever it is. So don't worry about how you price your courses. That is really nothing to do with the strategy. So let me summarize. Udemy students love and enjoy in-depth courses. If you create a really cornerstone in-depth course, students will repeat buy from you because they will come to know, like, and trust you, and they will be very receptive to offers from you for your new content. Getting your cornerstone course to bestseller status, I believe, is critical, but then behind that, your satellite courses will sell well. So that is the blueprint strategy. So I've now explained to you the 4 KPIs and the bestseller blueprint strategy. So what are the next steps? Well, at the beginning of this, I promised you that this is a no sell, no pitch webinar. If this is a normal webinar, I would now launch into another 20 minutes of taking you through a whole sales pitch for some product or service or one of my courses. But I'm not going to do that. I want you to think about the content you've received. If you want to know more, there will be a link, in all probability, depends where you're watching this, below this video, where you can click on the link to find out more about my courses if you want to. But that's all I'm going to say to that. I'm not going to do any long sales pitch, or I'm not going to include anything in this webinar. Okay, this is a no sell, no pitch webinar. It's really focused on educating you and helping you to move your online courses business from where it is today to making you a future bestseller on Udemy. So I've covered the 4 essential KPIs you need to look at. I've taken you through the bestseller strategy that I genuinely believe works. I've studied what Phil Ebener is doing. I can see how he's doing it, and this is exactly what I'm replicating. And the fact that I've got now 7 courses on page 1 for online course creation as a keyword, a topic. Go and check it, see where I am today. Shows you how effective this strategy can be if you get it right. So that's all I've got to say for you for this webinar. This has been my online courses bestseller blueprint webinar. Very difficult to say that word, blueprint. I hope you found it helpful. I've taken you through some genuine inside information on what I do and how I do it. And now, if you want to find out more about me, you can go and see my website, or you can just reach out to me through Udemy, or just email me, john@jbdcolley.com. I'm here to help. It's always a pleasure to engage with you. And I really hope that this webinar and the content in this webinar will help you to move from where you are today to becoming a future best-selling online course instructor.